Lucas Botkin. Botkin decided to invest his time and money into a business at the age of 19 and built T.REX Arms. Now it's a multi-million-dollar company. We want to talk.
He started with nothing but $1,000, a vision, and a relentless work ethic. Today, Lucas Botkin has transformed the way civilians train with firearms, pushing beyond what was once considered possible. But his rise has not come without resistance. Some say he's done more for the Second Amendment than anyone in history. Others, they call him controversial, unqualified, and even dangerous.
Lucas, our producers here at CP believe that you and T.REX Arms are going to go down as doing the most work for Second Amendment rights, maybe in American history.
So who is Lucas Botkin, and what's next for him and for the Second Amendment community? Before he became a household name in the firearms world, Lucas was just a kid trying to figure out what to do with his life. At 19, he was a volunteer firefighter, uncertain of his path. But what he did know was that he had a passion for firearms, training, and problem solving. With just $1,000 in cash, all debt-free, he started making holsters by hand. And just like that, T.REX Arms was born.
Oh, that's malfunction of some sort. Whew.
At first, Lucas didn't even think the name T.REX Arms was serious enough for a company, but his family encouraged it. Over time, that brand identity, quirky, bold, and disruptive, became a reflection of his approach to the firearms industry itself.
And then I was at the breakfast table one morning with my younger brother, and I said, we were rattling off names, and I was thinking like animal something, like animal holsters or, whatever it happens to be. And I don't know why, but I just said, oh, T.REX Arms. Oh, it's funny because, little arms. And he was like, no, that's actually really good. And I was like, no, it's not serious enough. We need like a serious name. I want something that commands respect, And, but the whole family thought it was great. And I didn't like it initially. But I'm glad I picked it. It's been a very useful name for a lot of reasons from a branding perspective.
But what really set Lucas apart wasn't just holsters. It was his philosophy on training. In a world where many gun owners only practice slow, static shooting, he preached movement, efficiency, and speed. He didn't come from a military or law enforcement background, but that didn't stop him. Instead, it made him more relatable to the average American gun owner, and his dedication to training is undeniable. So much so that it's physically reshaped him. Years of shooting with the right leg back stance have actually caused muscular imbalances, making exercises like deadlifts more difficult. That's the level of repetition and commitment he's put into mastering his craft.
And I also shoot guns an unhealthy amount. Literally unhealthy. An unhealthy amount.
It's like the lead is getting all over you, and is that what's
lead? My hips are jacked up. I can't deadlift without one foot being in front of the other. And
oh, wow.
Wrist problems. So, yeah, a lot
Can
of
you
shooting.
switch arms and start working on the left?
Unfortunately, not really.
Oh.
So it's just something I'll deal with for the rest of my life. And that's okay. That's fine.
Well, all right.
Lucas argues that with the right training, civilians can outperform most law enforcement and military personnel when it comes to shooting proficiency. That idea alone has sparked intense debate within the firearms community.
Any civilian out there who's even just a little bit interested in shooting and shoots on their own will outshoot and outperform most military veterans and cops. And guys don't like being told that when they've gone in and they're told they're special. When they go through training or depending on what organization they're in, and then they see some skinny civilian wearing skinny jeans running around on a range shooting really fast, and they don't like that. They don't like that one bit.
I haven't been here.
And it's not just talk. His drills, his gear, and his training methods have been adopted by thousands who now train harder than ever before. Beyond just shooting technique, Lucas changed the way civilians view equipment. Before T.REX Arms, full kit training with plate carriers and night vision was largely seen as unnecessary, something only for military or law enforcement. Today, because of Lucas's influence, it's standard practice for those serious about training. He pioneered the idea that civilians shouldn't just own guns, they should be fully equipped and prepared. But that kind of influence doesn't come without pushback. Early on, Lucas was mocked for training in full kit. Now, it's widely accepted. But beyond the online critics, some of his biggest resistance came within the firearms industry itself.
And I was throwing on body armor, running around on Instagram 9 years ago, and people were going, "Why are you wearing that? You don't need that. All you need is a pistol. That's all you need." And the conversation has shifted so much now that I recently went to SHOT Show, which is our big industry event in January, and a lot of the companies there were showcasing photos of civilians wearing body armor, civilians with suppressors, civilians in camouflage, multicam, whatever it happens to be.
His stance on training has drawn criticism from those within law enforcement and military communities. Some believe that high-level firearms tactics should remain exclusive to professionals, arguing that civilians shouldn't have access to this kind of training. Lucas disagreed. He has openly criticized what he calls gatekeeping, the idea that certain training and tactics should only be reserved for those in government positions. He believes that the average American has just as much of a right to access this knowledge and train to a high level.
Is it like a turf war, or is it, kind of a special knowledge war? Like, I got military knowledge that you don't have, Lucas? Is it,
Yes, there is definitely it's called gatekeeping. Guys go and join the military. And they don't have to be like a special operations guy who's gone through a lot more schoolhouses. It can literally be a guy who just went to boot camp and then he got dropped in the motor pool. And he still thinks he possesses a high level of knowledge that civilians don't. And in some cases they do. But when it comes to firearms,
Lucas's approach to training and marketing has also drawn criticism from within the firearms industry. In one instance, a competitor in the gear space dedicated a podcast episode to criticizing his methods and beliefs. While they initially claimed it wasn't about attacking him, much of the episode revolved around their frustration with his impact on the industry.
This isn't a Botkin bashing session. This is a we are setting the record straight. We are calling out absolute bad behavior in this industry.
Embezzling funds that they donated to the NRA to fight for their rights, not fund somebody's yacht. You jackass. How are you this far off unless it's some sort of straw man whataboutism that you're trying to make here, where you're like, what about this? And it's like, that's not the point. He said, actually, I was one of the first to call out the NRA.
Dude,
you're not, you fucking asshole.
You weren't even fucking born before people were calling out the NRA.
Dude, you were not even in wave 10, dog. He does whataboutisms, right? So instead of answering directly like a damn adult, which he's 31 years old, even though he looks like he's 12.
This isn't a Botkin bashing session. This isn't a Botkin bashing session.
But despite the resistance, Lucas has only doubled down. His company continues to grow, his reach expands, and his influence within the 2A community is undeniable. He's not just selling gear, he's changing gun culture itself. So, what's next for Lucas Botkin? His Wreaking Havoc podcast is pushing new conversations forward. His innovations in gear continue to shape the industry. And with this relentless drive, there's no telling what impact he'll have next. But one thing is clear, he's not done yet. Lucas Botkin has already changed how gun owners train and think about the Second Amendment. But with his growing influence, continued industry innovation, and unwavering stance on civilian preparedness, the real question is, what's next? Will his next move redefine firearms training forever? Only time will truly tell. If you want to train smarter, shoot better, and connect with like-minded gun owners who take their skills seriously, the Range Rulers Discord community is where you level up. We're building a tight-knit group of gun owners who are serious about improving their skills and helping each other grow. If you want to connect with like-minded shooters, share training insights, and be part of something from the ground up, this is the place. Join now, get in early, and help shape the community. It's completely free. Join today and let's rule the range. The link is pinned down in the comments below this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next Range Rulers video.